Oh yeah, 7:16. Always a good day when we have snakes live in studio. It is World Snake Day. So we have a boa constrictor, which you're looking at right now, and a ball python. So pleased to be joined by Andrea Cotter, a biologist and assistant curator with the Amazon Gallery at the Vancouver Aquarium. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, first of all, this is a big old boa constrictor, and snakes have some incredible superpowers. Let's start with the tongue. When she's sticking the tongue out, she's essentially sniffing the air, right?
Yeah, so both of these snakes here, this is one spot on my left here with Deborah, and they're sticking their tongues out, and that's, they're smelling the air, essentially. So they have a very specialized organ on the roof of their mouth that acts kind of like our nostrils do.
So the one Deborah's holding is called One Spot?
This is One Spot the ball python.
Okay, and what is the boa's name?
This is Pisco.
Pisco.
Yeah. All
right, what is the fundamental difference between a python and a boa constrictor? I always thought that pythons were a type of constrictor, right?
Yeah, so usually it's, there's a bunch of factors in there. One is their locality, so usually you'll find boas in more New World countries, such as, or in continents such as South America and North America, whereas pythons would be found more Old World, where like Africa and Asia. And
talk to us about the pit organs and how they make the snake so unique.
So one spot over here, you can see them quite well if he turns his face around. But those are specialized organs that help them sense heat and infrared.
Wow.
So they can see in the dark, essentially. So you can't see, Pisco doesn't really have them as well as one spot does. But lots of species of snakes, that's how they see in the dark.
Wow. And talk to us about how they have such specialized eyes as well.
Yeah, again, that's really just dependent on what type of environment they're living in, whether they're a diurnal or a daytime snake, or if they're nocturnal. So one spot over here in particular, you can't really see his eyes too well, except if you're looking at him very closely, but their pupils are in different orientations depending on which lights they're looking in. Yeah.
And talk to us about the strike speed of some of these animals.
It's incredibly fast.
Yeah.
You would miss it if you blinked. But like we were talking about earlier, snakes will only really strike at you if they're nervous. Snakes are always more afraid of us than we are of them. They really don't want to have anything to do with us, and striking is just saying, get away from me.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel like there are a lot of misnomers when it comes to snakes, thanks to sensational headlines or, you know, snakes on a plane, movies that maybe push the snake agenda to the negative. But there is so much we can learn from these fascinating creatures, right?
Totally. I mean, they have so many different unique features to them, but just really help them to adapt to their environments. They are a top predator, so they're also nature's pest control. So they're eating all those things you don't necessarily want in your backyard, like mice and rats, and even the smaller snakes are eating slugs and snails and things like that. So, I mean, they're really fascinating animals, and they're really not as bad as everybody thinks they are.
Now, when they strike, they're not going to be eating something, because they're called constrictors for a reason, right? What can you explain sort of how they get their prey and get a meal?
Yeah, that's right. So these two snakes are constrictors. So they are grabbing their prey, so striking, bringing it in, and giving it a big old hug. There are some snakes, like we have one particular snake called the tiger rat snake that literally strikes and then eats instantly.
Wow.
So that would be quite terrifying if I was that food item. But so different types of ways that they eat as well, so it's quite interesting.
So how heavy is this boa here?
Pisco here is just over 30 pounds, and one spot here is about 6 pounds.
And how old would Pisco be? I mean, that looks like a healthy adult snake.
Both of these guys are just about 30 years old, and both of them will most likely live into their 40s. So quite long-lived animals, a lot longer than most people think they do.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Great facts. And yeah, people can check them out at the Amazon Gallery, right? Yeah,
every day, 9:30 to 6, we're open through the summer. And today we have special Snake Day programming, because it is World Snake Day.
Yes.
But you can always check us out online, vanaqua.org.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.